Hi, my name is Isaiah Stewart, and in this video, we're going to talk about the top 9 things that I've seen to always have satisfied clients in your contracting company. I'm the founder of Zeal Media Solutions, and we currently partner with contractors in over 100 different counties across the United States. Now, I'm not one to waste time, so let's get into it. Number 1, set clear expectations from the start. Now, the biggest thing with this is you never want to overpromise and then underdeliver. So to reach that point, you always have to be taking a very in-depth consultation whenever you're speaking with your client from the start. You want to clearly outline everything that this project will entail. The 3 things you want to make sure that they know is the timeline, how much it's going to cost, and then potential challenges that you guys might run into project. Something that I've seen time and time again that always fails is to not have written agreements in place with your client. If you want me to send you the exact contract that we use across all of our companies, then send me a message that says contract. Number 2, regular updates and progress reports. Now, depending upon the project, this will obviously vary. For example, if you're just somebody that's just cutting the grass really quickly, you won't have to do this very often. But if you're a contractor that will be building a whole house, make sure to keep those updates constant. And make sure that your client always knows what's the next step. You never want them to be questioning their decision that they chose you. Something that we found that has really helped is using softwares that will send text messages and emails to your client. Now for this, at a minimum, we always recommend to be reaching out to your clients every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that the job is going on. Number 3, be accessible. Now this is something that we see constantly, is just honestly misunderstandings. You want to make sure that your client knows that they can always reach out to you no matter what. One of the most common things that we see is someone that completes a job and for whatever reason, it wasn't up to their client's expectation. Now for this, you might think that they are completely satisfied. If one of their friends or family asks them about the project, they're not going to recommend you whatsoever. So make sure that they know that you're accessible and you always are able to respond within 24 hours or whenever they reach out to you. At the end of the day, they just want to make sure that you care about what they're feeling. And if it does come down to it where there's a small misunderstanding, I always recommend to try to do your best to make it right. If it's something like you haven't been able to respond in a while, maybe even offer to gift them a gift card to their favorite restaurant. Because at the end of the day, again, if that client refers you to somebody else where you make $10,000, $20,000 on a job, I think that might be worth it. Number 4, be transparent and honest about everything you do. If something goes wrong or there's a delay, you want to make sure that your client is fully aware. Explain the situation, the cause, and how you plan to address it. Transparency will always build trust, even in difficult circumstances. Your client will be way more appreciative if they can see that you're trying your best to resolve things, even if it wasn't your fault. With this, you always have to be looking at the long-term perspective. As I said before, let's say that you didn't make as much as you planned on that job. Yeah, that might suck for the next few weeks, but let's say in a few months from now, they recommend you several different clients. That ROI will definitely pay off. Number 5, provide visual aid. Now this one might seem very basic, but it's something to always remember as a contractor. Make sure at a minimum to always send them at least a halfway point follow-up. Something that literally would take you less than a minute to do of taking a video or a photo can go very, very far. For this, there's softwares you can even get that are 3D renderings of the project so they know exactly what to expect. Ultimately, you just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page throughout the entire process. Number 6, encourage feedback. Now there's a lot that goes into this. I would say this is one of the most important things. This is what makes great contractors great and bad contractors bad. If you're constantly doing this throughout the job, this will make sure that there's no hiccups or anything going on. Doing this will make sure that you save a lot of time and money in the long term. Something that you have to remember too is feedback is great. Yeah, in the moment it might not be the best, but long term it'll make you a better contractor. Something that I'll always recommend is at the end of every single job, ask your client, in what ways can we improve? Number 7, end of project review. Now, obviously, you always want to make sure to have a full walkthrough of the entire project at the end. But after that, there's several different things that you're going to want to do to nurture that client and make sure that they will always recommend you in the future. For example, with that software that we recommended, like I said before, you can automate follow-up text messages with that client, making sure that they left fully satisfied after working with you. And I would say with those text messages, really try to come across like you're just a friend. So for example, if it's a bathroom remodel, just say something very basic like, hey, how's the new shower doing? At the end of the day, you just want to make sure that your client feels like you care. Now, through this process, depending upon the client, if it's a quick job, always ask them to leave a review. That's actually a process that you can automate as well. What you can do using that software, like I was saying, is you can automate a weekly text message or email to that client with a link to your Google business page for them to review your company. Now we get it, people are busy. That's why it's an automated follow-up sequence. So it will automatically send them a text message weekly until they do review your business. Number 8, document everything. Now, obviously the larger larger the project, the more in depth this will have to be. Now, no matter the software that you use, you want to make sure that you have a place that you can keep track of texts, emails, agreements, changes to the project, or key decisions where you can input notes. Obviously, depending upon how large the project, this will vary. In a lot of cases, we always recommend to, at the end of the project, send them an email outlining everything. This will help verify that mutual understanding and long-term make sure that they know that you're always there to help. Number 9, leave them with a guarantee. Now, no matter how small or how large your project is, always leave them with a guarantee. This will make sure for the future that there's no miscommunication with the project that you completed. Now, this is something that you might have to think on a little bit, but make sure it's something to where it leaves the client feeling very valued. As I said, I've owned several different companies in the contracting space, and if you're looking for any processes or systems that you want built out, feel free to send us a message. But for now, keep crushing it in business.